Hi guys, it's Adria, and for today's video, I kind of wanted to talk a bit about my self-harm story video that I posted almost 3 years ago now. I cannot believe that. Maybe you're new to my channel, maybe you haven't seen that video. It is one of the more viewed videos on my channel. I think that's how a lot of you guys found me, and you know, I guess I just kind of wanted to talk a bit more in depth about it. Since so much time has gone by, I feel like there are a lot of things that need to be said because it's kind of hard when you're known for one video on your channel and people kind of find you through one video. That video as of now has about 700,000 views, approaching 800,000 views, and that's a lot. That's a lot more than I expected from that, and I think that was a lot more than I knew how to handle at that time, because it's kind of hard when you just have random strangers popping in and out of your videos. They know you from nowhere else and they just take it from that video. You know, they know nothing else about you. I think that's kind of hard, and I think that's why I wanted to kind of do this follow-up video to it and just kind of responding to some of the comments I get frequently on that video. You know, just kind of opening up the discussion again since it is the 3-year anniversary of that video. So let's just talk about it. I made that video back in October of 2013 about an incident that took place in October of 2012. So I can't believe it's been 4 years. Basically what happened was, in short, if you haven't seen the whole video, obviously it'll be linked at the top of the description box or in a little bubble thing around here somewhere. I'm still trying to figure out how those little, you know, the little I button up in the corner, I'm still trying to figure out how those work, you know. I went to a mental hospital in October of 2012. I had graduated high school in that June. Basically, I didn't have like a life plan. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't in school. I didn't have a job. It was kind of hard for me to see everybody that I had graduated with, you know, move on and like have jobs and have lives and go to school, and I was just kind of stuck. I was so incredibly depressed. It got to a point where I didn't even want to leave my room. On my computer all day, I would do nothing basically. And this was before I really became invested in YouTube. I mean, I had my channel back in 2012. I did post videos, you know, but it wasn't like pretty much full time like I do it now. I don't know. I feel like I really just was kind of having like a, I don't want to say an identity crisis. I wouldn't really know what to call it, but I didn't know who I was, and I was having trouble finding myself. You know, I'm still finding myself. And I think now, 4 years later after that, I realized that life isn't necessarily about finding yourself, it's about making yourself. And it's not about the destination, it's about enjoying the journey. Because a lot of people think like, oh, I'd be happier if I was here, if I had this, if I did this. But it's like, life is about enjoying that time and enjoying the journey to get there. Because imagine if you woke up tomorrow and you had everything you could ever wish for. That's it. You know, that's it. I mean, you know, that might sound kind of great if all your prayers were answered, but it's like, at the same time, we have to enjoy things, we have to learn things along the way. We learn a lot about ourselves through going through hardships, and I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason, the way it's supposed to. And to this day, 4 years later and 3 years after that video was posted, I still stand by that I wouldn't trade any of this for anything, because my struggle with depression and self-harm and anxiety has brought me a lot of you guys. I know that there's a lot of people that may not have found me otherwise, and I know there's a lot of people who I've helped through that video, and that's really reassuring to me, and that makes me feel like I've done something right, and there is purpose to your pain, and I always say that to myself. I mean, I feel like the most interesting people and the most inspiring people have gone through crap and have come out on the other side to share their story. So to this day, I am not ashamed of that. I'm not embarrassed by that. That's kind of why I made that video, was just to kind of open up and show that like, I'm okay with this. It's not the greatest thing ever, but take it for what it is, and maybe somebody else can be helped through this and by this. I haven't watched that video, I think, in maybe like a year at least. It's hard for me to watch. It's hard for me to even read the comments on it. It's just kind of a hard thing to put myself back into, because it definitely takes me back to that time period in my life. I think the number one thing that I hear on that video, God didn't save your life, blah blah blah, all that. I think what irritates me the most about those comments is the fact that God is in the title of that video. Like, you know what you're getting into the minute you click on it. And people took a video that was serious, I mean, and I was crying in it, and they took it and they turned it into a battle and a complete, you know, debate on whether or not God is real. And I'm just reading these comments, I'm just like, why? I'm like, did any of you even watch the video? Like, or did you just come here to start an argument? That's where I kind of have a problem. I know that there's people that watch me that don't believe in God, and I've said this before. I'm not here to just, you know, shove everything in people's faces. That's not the reason I even made that video. It was just to share my own experience. Another comment I get is, God didn't save your life, you saved your life. Well, I guess if you want to be technical about it, I was the one to save my life, so to speak, because I was the one in the situation. But I do think that without putting my situation into God's hands, I don't know how it would have ended. I don't know how long I would have been in the mental hospital. I got out a lot sooner than expected. I found this inner strength in me that I didn't even know I had. I really pulled a lot out of myself that I didn't even know was in there, you know? While I am proud of myself because, you know, I did that. I was the one going through all of that, but I prayed and I asked God to give me strength to get through that. I needed something else because I knew I couldn't just do it myself. I couldn't do it on my own. I needed to feel like somebody else just, you know, had their hand on me, you know, just like had their hand on my back and would just push me along through it. Adria and her crazy metaphors, like just think of like a boxing match, okay? Think of the boxer and think of like their coach. I look at myself as the boxer and God as the coach. While I was the one battling and having the fight myself, I couldn't have done it without my coach, without God there in my corner, you know, who had my back and, you know, gave me that motivation and that strength to pull through. Because, I mean, if you take the coach away from the boxer, would they really be able to win the match? You never know. So that's just the way I look at it. I don't look at it like I was a marionette puppet and God was controlling my every move. I think people took it that way, and that was totally not what I was saying. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, to just kind of clarify things, clear things up. No, but that's really the only negative comment I feel that I get on that video a lot. I mean, there's probably other things, but the number one thing was about God not being real. But never let people tell you that what you believe in isn't real, that your story isn't real, that your experience, what you've gone through, that it isn't real. Because I have had so many people on that video try to tell me that God isn't real, that I did it myself, trying to take God out of my story. Don't let people do that, because for a while it affected me, and for a while I was like, wow, maybe I just sound stupid. Wow, maybe I shouldn't have posted this. Wow, maybe they're right. But just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not real to somebody else. Everybody has a different perspective. I kind of look at it this way. When you're going down a road, what's on your right is on someone else's left. What's real to you, maybe not to somebody else. Don't let other people try to tell you that your point of view is wrong, or what you think is wrong, or what you believe in is wrong. I've had so many people on my videos try to tell me that God isn't real. That's fine if they think that, but I don't know why they have to try to tear me down for believing in something. I don't understand that. I don't understand, you know, how you find pleasure in taking joy away from somebody else for believing in something and having faith in something, whether it's 100% real or not. Why? Why do it? There's no reason to do it. You know, there were way more positive comments on that video, and, you know, people saying that I've inspired them, or that the video helped them, or that it gave them hope that there's an end to whatever it is that they're going through. And I found this one comment, I think I'm gonna read it to you guys because it's really sweet. It says, I love it when I find a famous YouTuber who is passionate about God. I'm not famous. I'm not famous, but I get what you mean though, people with a little bit of a following to talk about God. I get what you mean. Thanks so much for sharing this. I can only imagine the smile you put on God's face, and thanks for giving him all the credit. I haven't been in a situation like that before, but I know how it feels to be in a place where you have nothing left to do but cry out to God to save you. You are really strong through Christ, and what you have done is amazing. You shared your story. Now think of the thousands that you've helped, and imagine what if those thousands share their story. And again, just because you have the God-given desire to help others. And if anyone else reads this comment and you have a story too, then please share it. Never let that passion die. That was really sweet. Thank you so much for that. But there was overall way more positivity to come out of that video than negativity. I'm really grateful that it has been able to reach as many people as it has. has, and you know, that to me is really reassuring. So I think now I'm just gonna watch it again for the first time in a really long time. We'll see where it goes. I'm kind of scared. I haven't watched this in so long. This is so old. I surprisingly didn't cry watching that. Wow. That was kind of hard to watch though. I like found myself feeling like, almost like I didn't even recognize myself. First of all, I look very different, but almost like that feels like a different person to me. I don't know. And you know, like I said in that video, even after getting out of the mental hospital, self-harm was still a huge struggle for me. And that's something that I get asked sometimes, you know, from time to time, like, was that it? Was that where it stopped? And the blunt, honest answer is no, like it didn't stop there. As of this month, it's been an entire year for me, and I think that time frame kind of may sound surprising to some people. I know probably maybe my family may think it's been longer than that, but it's only been a year. I had a pretty bad relapse last October, and I never shared it on here or anything, but you know, it's hard. It's really hard. You know, depression and self-harm is not a joke. It's not a joke. And if you are going through anything similar to what I did, I beg you to get help. I beg you to find somebody to talk to who will listen to you. If I could, I would like to recommend some mental health YouTube channels. Two of my favorite mental health channels are Like Kristen and Depression to Expression. Both of them make great mental health videos, and I know I don't do everything mental health related. It's only from time to time I talk about it, but their videos are pretty much all about mental health, and I just wanted to give them a little shout out. If you wanted some good mental health related channels, I will link them in the description below. Be proud of any time that has passed, whether it's been a week, a month, for me a year, now 4 years since that incident. It definitely gets easier. It gets so much easier. And while I think that my mental health will always be a part of my life, it doesn't have to be the biggest part of my life, because I think for me, 4 years ago, it had control of me. I was able to do nothing I wanted to do, where now I can build up the strength to kind of put it in the back seat of the car that is my life, you know what I mean? Where it's still kind of there, but I learned to work around it and work through it, and it's not the biggest thing in my life. Wow, I've changed a lot since that video, and I've definitely changed a lot since that incident. Don't let time pass with living that way, because I still struggle to this day with depression and anxiety, but I'm more aware of it now, and I know how to treat myself to get through it, if that makes sense. Like, I let myself have a down day if I need a day to just relax and, you know, light some candles and read some books and listen to my motivational CDs that I have, which is like, sounds like such a mom thing, you know, like, oh, my motivational CDs. You know, I give myself breaks, and then I'm like, okay, now you gotta put your armor on and get out there. That's what my mom would always say to me when she would drop me off at elementary school. When I would get out of the car, she would say, put your armor on. And that has always stuck with me, and I feel teary-eyed even talking about it, because life sucks sometimes. Life is hard. Sometimes we have to go through things that we don't want to do. Put on your metaphorical armor, you know, and if you believe in God, put it in God's hands to take care of it. You know, I found that inner strength in myself, and I put my armor on, so to speak, and I'm really proud of myself for that video, and I know that it's helped a lot of people, and I just want to thank you guys for all of your continued support. And if there's anything else, let me stop crying first. And if there's anything else mental health related that you would like me to talk about, I would be more than happy to. I know that you guys want me to do more mental health videos, and that's really kind of where my channel started. So, you know, I love doing story times, I love doing hauls, I love doing makeup, I love doing favorites, I love rants and pet peeves and all that, but I also love inspiring people and talking about my experiences with mental health. I love being able, well, I don't love talking about, you know, nobody really loves talking about, but I love being able to share, you know, my little piece of info, my little piece of inspiration and encouragement wherever I can. So I love you guys. Whatever it is you are going through right now, just know that I have your back. It is possible. It is possible. Sometimes you really just have to hit the bottom to build up from there. I'm kind of grateful for the things that I've gone through because it's given me so much to reflect back on and so much to be proud of, where nowadays when I have days where I feel like a failure or like I could be so much better right now, I could be doing this, what have I accomplished in my life? I look back on, videos like that and times like that, and I'm like, I've grown a lot since then, and I've become so much of a happier person, and I think a funnier person with that, I didn't have any kind of sense of humor. I say that a lot, but I really wasn't funny. Maybe I'm not even funny to you now, but I really had like no sense of humor until, a few years ago. But I'm kind of just learning to live more and just be myself, and I put myself out there on here and let it be whatever it's gonna be, and that's awesome. And I still love that quote from that video: everybody wants happiness, nobody wants pain, but you can't have a rainbow without a little rain. People to this day still send me that quote. That really says something to me, that was so long ago, but yet that quote stuck with me and I made it stick with other people. And like that one comment said, from one person sharing their story, a bunch of other people could share theirs and reach more people, and it's like, it can just be this whole big chain reaction. I don't know. You get what I mean. But always remember that quote. Write it in your binder for school. Write it on a piece of paper and stick it to your wall. Write it on your hand. Write it on something, because just remind yourself that sometimes the day has to be a little dark for there to be a super nice, pretty day with like a rainbow or something. Yeah, you get what I mean. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to find me anywhere else, all of my social media is down in the description. So I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Bye!